Good morning, everybody. Sam here, live on United People's TV, 15 minutes early. It's Friday. Happy Friday, everybody. And happy Ralf Rangnick Day. Today is the day. It's his first press conference. He's been speaking for the first time in front of the press as Manchester United manager. You will know by now that I am very excited about what Ralf Rangnick is going to bring to Manchester United. And I'm going to waste no time in this stream. I'm going to get straight into the quotes that Ralf Rangnick has been speaking about. Quotes he's been speaking about, what he's been saying as Manchester United manager. So you let me know throughout this entire stream your opinions, your feelings. You know, last night, football moves on so goddamn quickly. From the 3-2 last night to Carrick resigning, he's been speaking about Carrick. He's been speaking about his coaching staff. He's been speaking about his philosophy, what he's going to be implementing straight away. It's going to be a cracking stream on Friday. So make sure you drop a like on the video. Make sure you please do subscribe if you're new, because there's plenty of you waiting and plenty of you watching here straight away. And let's get into the quotes from the main man himself. Look at him there. He's beautiful. He's German. I'm not going to press play because Man United will probably take this video down. But let's go over here and let's just take a quick look at the first quotes from old Ralphie. Here's what he said straight away. If a club like Manchester United contacts you for such a role, you cannot possibly turn it down. No, Ralf, you cannot turn it down. Ralf there, joining Manchester United. I mean, you can turn it down. You can reject Chelsea. It's a shame, but you can't reject Manchester United. You know your levels, Chelsea. And this one's quite interesting. The major target for me, and this one should get everyone excited straight away. The major target for me is to bring more balance into the team. We conceded 2 against Arsenal. We needed 3 to win the game. It's just too much per game. My approach is to bring more balance, more control to the game. And I swear to God, that's music to my ears. It's definitely music to your ears. It should be music to everybody's ears. Rangnick is a man who comes in. Yeah, it is far too. You can't be scoring 3 goals per game. It's tough. It's hard to do that in football. You need to be able to keep the clean sheets. And Manchester United, we did it against Villarreal away. We did it against Spurs away. Spurs, obviously, they sacked their manager straight after. Villarreal was a good game. But we need clean sheets back, eh? And Rangnick is focusing on bringing that balance back into the squad. And we need that, man. We need that balance badly, don't we? Is the squad and the team balanced enough to bring that? I don't know, but that's going to come down to coaching. And of course, he did speak in detail about his philosophy. He spoke in detail about what he's going to try and attempt to bring in. Why don't we get a little bit of the press conference here? I'm sure we can play a little bit. Let me zoom out a bit. This is what he said, and this is what he said about when he said no to Chelsea.
I mean, at the time when Chelsea contacted me last year or this year in February, they only spoke about the option to become interim manager for 4 months. So it was in February, without any perspective to work in the long term together. And here now we are talking about 6.5 months.
Maybe longer.
So we only have 1/3 of all the games played in the Premiership. And as you all know, we have also agreed upon a 2-year advisory role after
which is the best thing.
6.5 months. And and in the end, to be honest, if a club like Manchester United contacts you for such a role, you cannot possibly turn it down.
Well, you can turn Chelsea down, though. You can turn Chelsea down, though, and he did turn Chelsea down, but he couldn't turn Manchester United down. Yes, Ralphie, that's what I want to hear. Simon, I can see you've joined as a member here. Good morning to you. You've entered into the draw now for the Ronaldo shirt. Oh, it's Friday, by the way. I'm announcing the winner of this week's Ronaldo shirt. But Simon, you've entered, and Mo, I saw you early in the stream. You joined as a member. You're entered into it too. But Ralphie there, sitting there, talking about turning Chelsea down. It's easy enough to turn Chelsea down, but it's not as easy to turn Manchester United down. Let's go on and see what else Rangnick has been saying. The people with whom I've spoken so far, they've been very clear that we're talking about a 6.5-month role. If they then speak with me about that permanent job, we will see. And if you watch some of the if you watch the press conference, he sort of made it clear. He goes, look, I'm not going to rule it out. And I think at this point in time, right now, it would be foolish of us to just completely rule out the idea of Rangnick becoming our permanent manager. As much as I don't think it will happen, as much as I don't think it's probably the right thing to happen, we cannot rule it out right now. We have to see what happens between now and May, because if Rangnick absolutely kills it, then you can't rule it out. Manchester United jumped the gun with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, gave it too early. We know that. And I don't think we're going to make that same mistake again. And I don't think Rangnick would actually allow us to, which kind of sounds strange because he's got that consultancy role. The advice has to be given and taken from him. But there's so many interesting points here. as I've said the entire way through with Rangnick, right from my first video that I did on him, he's just such an impressive person to speak to. Really eloquent, really intelligent. And I just want to sit there and listen to him and sort of absorb what he's saying. And I imagine the players are going to have a similar response when he's sort of, when he's explaining his gegenpressing system, when he's explaining the control and the balance and the movement. The players are going to take it all on board because they can respect and listen to what he is saying. Let's go back in and let's see what else old Ralphie's had to say, because it's been a busy press conference. I'll tell you that. This was a good one. It's about winning games. And in the end, I'm very ambitious. We want to make the most successful season that is possible. Right now, we have to be realistic. The difference between us and the top three is big, but let's see. Not ruling it out. Not ruling it out. And in terms of what Rangnick has been doing so far, because obviously he wasn't able to be in charge against Arsenal. We had to wait until after the international break to come and become Manchester United manager. But he's there. I've watched the games against Watford. I bet you enjoyed that game against Watford, didn't you? My word. The game against Chelsea, the game against Liverpool, and the game against Manchester City. I'm pretty well acquainted with what's going on at the club. Well, Ralph, if you are acquainted, and you are acquainted because you watched those 4 games, you're not going to have enjoyed yourself. You watched us concede 4 goals against Watford. You watched us concede 5 goals against Liverpool. And what was it? I can't remember what the score against City was, and I don't want to remember what the score was. Was it 2-0, 2-1, and they sort of like held back? I can't even remember. I think I've just broken it out of my mind. If he's watched those games, and he has, then he understands how big and how bad our problems truly are. And we need Ralf to come with a magic German wand. And of course, it's not going to be quick and straight away. And that's one thing I would add as a caveat to all of this. I know I'm dead excited. You're dead excited. Everyone's dead excited about what Ralf can bring and what Ralf can do. You saw how long it took Jurgen Klopp to get a very decent Liverpool squad to where they are now. Now, something that Rangnick did say in his press conference is like, if you look where Jurgen came into Liverpool and you look where I've come into Manchester United, I've got a far better squad immediately compared to Jurgen Klopp. And that is completely true. So I don't know whether that means that his expectations of what he can achieve straight away are higher. I don't know, but I think that's fair to say is that Manchester United's squad is certainly stronger than Liverpool's when Jurgen Klopp came in. What else has old Ralphie been saying? Let's scroll up a bit more. The club has had no continuity in signing new players and sticking to the DNA of the club. Now he's preaching to the choir there. In the future, the board members and myself have the same opinion. It's important not to have too many changes in management. Change a manager when the manager's not correct, yes. But yeah, I completely agree when it comes to, it's the continuity. That's the buzzword that I've been saying. The continuity between managers. We've gone from Moyes to Van Gaal, U-turn. We've gone from Van Gaal to Mourinho, U-turn. We've gone from Mourinho to Solskjaer, the biggest of U-turns. And that means that the players that have been bought and signed through those years will work for one manager and just not work for another manager. So that when the next manager comes in, the squad's completely disunited. An absolute jumble sale of players. And that's hopefully what's going to be massively different between Solskjaer and Rangnick, is that there will be a continuity, that the players that worked under Solskjaer and didn't work under Solskjaer, that they will now just kind of come into this system and just flow into it and be better players because of it. Because I think that squad is capable of playing the pressing game. I think if you look at the players we've got in there, we all know how good Fred's probably going to be, I think anyway. Fred last night somehow being man of the match for Arsenal and Manchester United. Then that might be the first time that's ever happened. But Fred sort of embodying Manchester United's chaotic football last night, wasn't he? You know, that you'll never see a goal conceded like that again. At least we can laugh about it because we won, right? And then getting an assist for the equaliser, then winning the penalty for the 3rd goal. Jeez, Fred sums it up. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that continuity between signings and between managers. Absolutely. This one's an interesting quote. This is him, Rangnick, speaking about Carrick leaving. He said, I got to know this 2 days ago and met with Michael Carrick and Kieran McKenna. I had a private conversation for about an hour and I tried to convince Michael Carrick to stay on board. So Rangnick wanted Carrick to be part of his coaching staff. And I think I said this on my match reaction last night. I've said this to you all along. If you're looking at Manchester United's coaching staff, you've got Mike Phelan, you've got Michael Carrick, or had Michael Carrick, you've got Kieran McKenna, Darren Fletcher, Martin Pert. Of all of those coaches, I probably would have put Carrick on the bottom of the list to be leaving Manchester United first. I would have put Mike Phelan at the top, and I still hold Mike Phelan at the top of that list. I'm unsure what position he's going to really hold of any sort of authority in this new Rangnick setup. But where Rangnick also went into a bit of detail, he was asked about what coaching staff he is going to bring in. So I'll run onto that quote in a second, but that's an interesting one. But yeah, for me, Carrick, I said it last night, Carrick did such a fantastic job, really. 2 wins and a draw. In the context of the tailspin that we were in as a football club, he did a brilliant job as caretaker manager and has now left it over to Rangnick in a far stronger position because of it. Well done to Michael Carrick for that. Thomas, good morning to you. What are you saying? Hi, Sam. Just want to give a shout out to the loyal fans who gave Solskjaer the farewell he deserved last night. Once a legend, always a legend. Solskjaer will always be welcome back at Old Trafford, Thomas. That won't ever change. It was the case before, and it will be the case after he was manager. Let's go up and let's read a few more quotes past these adverts. I had a long telephone call with Joel Glazer for half an hour. I also spoke with Ole for almost 2 hours on Sunday. He was very generous and gave me insight onto his team. Now, that's an interesting quote there. So Rangnick having a 2-hour conversation with Solskjaer. Mate, that goes to show what sort of person Solskjaer is. Solskjaer, he won't have left this position with any sort of animosity. He won't be looking back like, I don't know, if you get sacked by someone, if you get sacked by a former employee, you're not exactly going to speak to him, are you? Be like, no, sod that, you're gone. Solskjaer was on the phone for 2 hours with Rangnick, and he would have probably gone into complete detail about everything that happened with the squad, all the nuances, trying to get Rangnick the best possible chance for success. And that's the person who's taken his job. So it's the measure of the man that Solskjaer is, that he did that. So fair play to him, man. Fair play to him. Actually, I'll tell you what I've done here. I've accidentally scrolled through. I have actually. Let me go back down. There's some more quotes. What's going on here? There's Carrick leaving. There we go here. This is what he's saying about the coaching staff. He said, I'm more than happy to work with the current coaching staff. Now, that's going to raise some eyebrows. I need their expertise for the squad. I will try to find 2 or 3 people that will join us in the coming weeks, but due to Brexit, it is not that easy. Now, I'm going to go in a bit more detail about what Rangnick did say here, because I watched the press conference. He was explaining, he was like, look, whether it's a video analyst that I've worked with previously or whether it is an assistant manager that I've worked with previously, he said a lot of these people who were on my staff in different jobs back at Leipzig, back at Hoffenheim or Salzburg, he goes, they're all in long-term contracts. So it's very difficult to go and get them right now. It strikes me, he said it right there. He wants to try and find 2 or 3 coaching staff to come into this Manchester United squad, and he needs it. For a system of the intensity that he wants to bring in, he needs lieutenants that are going to be able to reaffirm his ideas when he's turned around. He needs more than 2 eyes on this whole squad to be able to do it properly. But he's made it clear that probably his top choices are all employed. So he's going to have to be smart, going to have to be clever in terms of the staff that he's bringing in. I don't know whether that means that he's going to have to completely settle, but the reality is he will have to settle on who he gets in. And that's because of what United have done. We've sacked our manager at the end of November. We brought Rangnick in on a 6-month contract in December. Everyone's already in a job. And if they're not in a job, all we can offer him is a 6-month contract. So it throws massive uncertainty. No one's really realistically going to leave a long-term position to come for a short-term 6-month stint. And no one knows what's next. It's a risky move for any coach that Rangnick has worked with. It depends how strong the lure is. Obviously, the lure was much stronger with Rangnick because we gave him that 2-year consultancy role after. So it's not just a 6-month position for him. But any coaching staff that he brought in, they'd be under that. So yeah, I'll be honest, I'm a little bit worried about that. I'm a little bit worried that he won't be able to get the exact coaches he wants to bring in, but I'm sure he'll make it work, right? What else have you been saying? He's been talking about Cristiano Ronaldo. Seeing Cristiano yesterday at 36, I've never seen a player that physically fit at that age. He can easily make the difference. Mate, Ronaldo, was it the 87th minute when Fred nipped it over the top to Sancho and the counter-attack burst happened? He went through. Ronaldo ran the entire length of the pitch, sprint the entire length of the pitch, but he pulled it back to Bruno Fernandes, who got his shot blocked. Ronaldo yesterday was a bit of a nod to Rangnick in how he was playing in that last 20, 30 minutes. Incredible. He will not be able to do that every week, right? And it will be a case of smart management. And I've said this before, but Zinedine Zidane was the first manager to smartly manage Cristiano Ronaldo. He would rest him in certain games inside La Liga. So when it came to the Champions League knockout, he was at full tilt. And that's when he went on and started scoring braces in back-to-back quarterfinals and a hat-trick. Ronaldo was insane in the Champions League in those 3 years. That's because Zidane managed him properly. Rangnick will have to do the same. Maybe that's not dropping him for Chelsea away, but it will be resting him in certain games and playing him in others. And if we saw that yesterday, it goes to show that he can play inside this system. For sure, he can play inside this system under Rangnick. I'm not worried about that at all. He's asked about new players. We haven't spoken about new players. Now is the time to get to know the current squad in detail. The squad is definitely not too small. There is enough players. And I'll be honest, I do agree with that. I think the majority of the players inside that squad are going to be capable and very good in this Rangnick system. I do also think that we need that midfield signing, someone like Haidara, someone like who can play that pressing system, who has played that pressing system before, because he'll need that general. He'll need that person on the pitch that can reaffirm his ideas in the same way. He needs coaches who can reaffirm his ideas. So I don't think we'll be signing lots of players at all, but maybe one in January. And that probably depends on people leaving as well. We go up here. He goes, maybe after Christmas, there will be a little time to talk about possible transfers in the winter. In my experience, winter is not the time for sustainable transfers. It will be difficult in the winter. And that's just, I mean, you could probably, every manager in world football has probably said that exactly. Yeah, the winter transfer window is difficult. We'll see what we can do. Everybody says the same thing. It's because it is difficult, right? Bruno Fernandes we signed in January, though, so you can sign players in there. It can only go game by game, step by step. You have to make sure you have the biggest chance to win the next game, then step by step. Let the players follow and buy into the ideas that I can offer them on how we want to play in the future. Mate, it's going to be like going back to sixth form for the players. That's what it's going to be like. It's going to be like an experienced lecturer coming in, and it's going to feel like a lecturer. But the players have to take it on board properly. And there's been comparisons to Louis van Gaal in terms of how he speaks and how he approaches and speaks about his philosophy, X, Y, Z. I think some of those comparisons are fair. But the difference here is very crucial. When Van Gaal came in, he came into a Manchester United board that was in total dictatorial mode, authoritarian. Complete power was with the board. That's now changed. There's been a power shift. Woodward's leaving. Rangnick is taking over. Arnold is prepared to step aside from the footballing decisions. He's coming in and actually going into a consultancy role. Manchester United as a football club has changed a little bit quite a lot between Van Gaal and Rangnick. So while there are comparisons between the two, the context of United as a club is key. And that's why Rangnick has more chance of success. And that's why, although the comparisons with Van Gaal are a little bit fair, it's very, very different also at the same time. Let's go up a little bit more. Rangnick was speaking about Pep. He said Pep has been at City for 3 years. Klopp for 5. Tuchel only came in February, but in time-wise, they're a little ahead of the way they want to develop. I'm more than happy with the players we have here, and he's reiterated that more than once for sure. Rangnick was asked about receiving 10 million if he signs Erling Haaland. Now, this is something I know a lot of you will get excited about. 10 million for Haaland, 10 million for Mbappe, 10 million for Lewandowski, and 10 million for Kimmich. Obviously, it's nonsense. There's no clause in my contract, but that's disappointing. Come on, Rangnick. Maybe he's lying. Yeah, maybe he's lying. He's probably not. Yesterday in the box, I felt with Carrick and McKenna, it could have been 3-3. You don't want these types of games as a coach. In the end, I was more than happy we got the result we wanted. Yeah, yesterday was very much a result happiness, not a performance happiness. And that's something we haven't had for a long time, eh? I think you can probably go Villarreal, you can't say you were happy with a complete performance. First 60, we got played off the park. Spurs is the last time. And that wasn't that long ago, I suppose, but it was, their manager got sacked after. Spurs was probably the last time where we had total control of an actual performance and a result. And that's what we need to see underneath Ralf Rangnick. And I'm sure we will see under Rangnick for sure. Let's go up and scroll a little bit more. Look, there's plenty of you watching. Welcome aboard to United People's TV. Before I quickly move on, 2 things I want to say. First of all, drop a like on the video and make sure you subscribe. Second of all, to all members and non-members, you can, of course, win every single week here on United People's TV a CR7 home shirt. Look at that. It's a beauty. By the way, it's not from the mega store. The Glazers get no money. That's what my little caveat is every single time. I give one away every single week here on United People's TV. All you got to do is join as a member on YouTube or Facebook. On YouTube, hit the join now button. On Facebook, hit the support now button. There was links in the description of both videos. And also, trust me, there's more giveaways coming in the build up to Christmas. So it really is a good time to join as a member. And that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying, right? Let's go back to the quotes. I know what kind of player Haaland is. is the whole world has realized how good he is. The offensive players we have here, we have so many top players in the offensive department that we don't need to speak about any other player. Now, that I would wholeheartedly agree with. Our problem does not lie in attack. Our problem does not lie in the fact that we don't have any quality attackers. We've got Ronaldo, we've got Sancho, we've got Rashford, we've got Greenwood, we've got Martial, we've got Cavani. We've got so much quality up front. It's not about, talking about Haaland's not the issue. Talking about midfield, here, let's have a conversation. Talking about defense, all right, I'm here, I'm listening. Talking about attack, I know Haaland would be great, but it's not the problem point in the squad. That's what I would say. Anyway, Ralf, I had a long, that's what he was saying about Joel Glazer. That's what he was saying about there. Let's go up here. Rangnick was asked what he thought about the game against Arsenal. All of you saw the game. The first half was shaky with unlucky goal. Even myself, I said, where is David De Gea after that goal? It was a major blow for the team. They were lacking confidence. Yeah, you kind of felt it in Old Trafford, didn't you? It was Old Trafford was just like bemused by that goal, and the players sort of like got sucked into it. And it was a fantastic goal. Typical Fred, as I said, doing some mad thing in our own half and then going and getting the assist. Lovely, wonderful move that was for the equaliser. And funnily enough, if you look at the difference in the time difference between us winning the ball back and us scoring, it was less than 10 seconds. And we know that's what Rangnick does. Rangnick uses that countdown timer. You have to win. If you lose possession, you have to win it back within 8 seconds, I think, 8 or 10 seconds. And then from then, you have to try and create a goal scoring opportunity within 8 to 10 seconds. It's exactly what we did with that equaliser. So maybe the influence is already working. Let's go here. It was important to get the equaliser before half time. You could see that potential was there in the team to transfer the game away from our own box into an area where we have our assets. Yeah, and the assets, we know where the strength is in this Manchester United team. And it does not lie in defence, ladies and gentlemen. It does not lie in defence, does it? But, what's your thoughts on everything that Rangnick has been saying in this press conference so far? Are you excited about him coming in? What do you think is the biggest challenge that Rangnick has? Honestly, what do you think is the biggest challenge that he has coming into this team? Because he's got a great squad. Nobody can deny that he's got a great squad. And as I said, it's better than the squad that Tuchel had, that Klopp had. But what do you think about everything? I'll read a few of your comments out now before we head on and we read out some more. Takeoff is saying, is Rashford injured? He's not. He didn't look at the races yesterday at all, did he? He really, really didn't. Viable Solutions, how you doing, buddy? Saying Ronaldo's probably the fittest player on the field. Why do you keep saying he won't play every game? He won't, mate. I'm not worried about his fitness. He is 36 years old. The reality is his body will not recover in time for games every 3 days. That's just a truthful fact. Therefore, you have to use him correctly. And I told you, Zidane did it a few years ago. And that's when Real Madrid won 3 Champions Leagues in a row. And I think that was quite a big part of it. Apart from the first goal, says T, Fred put in a solid shift. As I said, man of the match for both teams yesterday. That's what I would say. Anthony, don't know about you, Sam, but I find Rangnick fascinating and reassuring. I could listen to him all day. Mate, that's exactly what I feel. I'm just sitting there going, you know what you're talking about. You're clearly an expert in this field. Teach me. And I'm just some average United YouTuber, let alone a United player. So the players should enjoy this. And some of them have worked under Mourinho. Some of them have worked under Mourinho and Solskjaer. Some have worked under multiple managers. He seems to be the guy that's going to come in and say, this is the system, right? Okay, I know what you're doing. Your talents are good, but this is exactly what we're working towards. The players never really had a plan in front of them, did they? Apart from game to game to game, go and do this, there wasn't like a long-term plan. And it's very hard in anything in life without a proper long-term plan to have that vision and that consistent vision and better yourself day to day. That will now change under Ralf Rangnick. That is for sure. And that's in my opinion. You might disagree, but I feel pretty confident about that. Chris, Sam, when are you expecting to see a complete Rangnick formation system and playing style? Will there be enough time to implement that? So, yes, very good question there, Chris. I think we'll see fragments of it against young boys. I think Crystal Palace is simply too early to expect anything. What I expect to see against Crystal Palace, that I also expected to see against Arsenal last night, but that didn't really happen, is elements of our pressing game. So out of possession against Crystal Palace, I imagine United will be better, far better. But in terms of the overall shape, in terms of the idea of the 8 to 10 second countdown and how intense will be, the intensity will just not be there. It will be like unfortunately, it will be a little bit of a press, which, of course, Rangnick is not really a fan of, is he? Comment here from Dave Davis. How you doing, buddy? Hi, Sam. Big up from Lampeter. Where's Lampeter? How do you think Maguire will fit into Rangnick's gegenpress system when he moves as fast as a slug on a siesta? Well, now that is a delicate sentence that you've created there. I don't know, if I'm being completely honest. If we're being honest, the gegenpress doesn't rely on the defense too much. It relies on the defense having a high line, squeezing the shape up so that the players who are when you play a high press or a mid press, it's going to be down to the midfield to press. It's going to be down to the attack to press. But what it will be down to in our defense, and I'm scared about this, if I'm being completely honest, is our ability to play out from the back with the ball. We saw it against Arsenal last night as well. As soon as they pressed onto us, it was ridiculous. And I watched Arsenal do it. And I'm not sure if you noticed it, but every time Ramsdale had the ball, White and Gabriel stood like 7 or 8 yards just to the left of him, inside, basically on the edge of the 6-yard box, in far better starting positions to receive the ball, because players are allowed to stand in their own box now. You weren't always allowed to do that, I don't think. And that should make it easy to play out from the back with the ball. United didn't do that. Ours would probably split Maguire and Lindelof. I don't know what's going to happen with Maguire, if I'm being completely honest, but the gegenpress system doesn't really rely on the defense too much for the pressing. It relies on them to hold that high line, and his pace may well get exposed behind there. Oh, look at that. Yeah, big fan. Big fan of this. This is coming up. Oh, God. I've zoomed in way too much. Got excited. Look at that. The man himself in the kit. Ralf Rangnick, baby. I don't know what his chant's going to be. Probably not that. There we go. If that doesn't deserve a like on the video, I don't know what will. Look at that. That's getting a retweet. I'm in a good mood. Retweet. Absolutely. Mate, I'm so excited to see what he can bring to Manchester United, man. I'm so excited. And I don't think he's going to be, as I said, it's not going to be like a magic wand. It's not going to be a magic wand, but United are now on a clear path and a clear direction with in my opinion, the right man at the helm. And that's just exciting for me as a Manchester United fan. I'm sure you have the same sort of excitement. Gungshi, it feels so good to know we have a capable, intelligent, innovative manager here at United. All hail King Ralph. All hail indeed. Or, where is he? There he is up there. There's St. Ralph. Again, you've got to drop a like on the video for St. Ralph. Jeez, come on. There's a comment here flying in from... Sorry, there's a couple of super chats. It's not that I only answer super chats, but because when you send super chats in, it'll be unfair of me not to answer them. There's one there from Warren Davids. Biggest challenge here is monitoring fitness due to physicality and intensity of the Premier League, especially now in December. It's a very good point, Warren. That's honestly, it's a bit of a worry I've got. Is Rangnick's going to come in and start playing this pressing system, right, on a set of players who physically aren't that capable for it. Therefore, I expect Manchester United to get not a raft of injuries, but I will be worried about Manchester United getting injuries quite regularly in the short term anyway. Let me go down here and let me see if there's any more quotes I can pick up for you that we can talk about. There we go. That one's there. That's exactly what I was saying there. Rangnick talking about how football has modernized, how football has changed, and how that's changed the needs of players. Modern football in the last 10 years has completely changed into a more physical, more athletic, and more vertical game. And by that, he means that instead of doing passes across the team, you play vertical football through the lines, from midfield to attack, through balls. In order to develop teams, you need to train the bodies and the brains. Now, that's definitely going to give you all flashbacks to Louis van Gaal, because he always talked about how training the brain was more important than training the player. And as I said, I think if Louis van Gaal came into Manchester United now, he would have far more chance of success than he did back in the day. But he didn't play vertical football. Van Gaal played very horizontal football, very sideways football, very possession. We were like 60+ % possession in every single game, but we rarely really threatened the goal. Now that will be different under Ralphie Rangnick. And I've just got a big smile on my face. I've just got a big smile on the face. Let me have a see if there's anything down here, anything else he says, blah, blah, blah. Any questions you got, by the way, you let me know in the comments below. I'm just trying to get some more quotes. I've read the majority of the quotes out here. The majority of the quotes. But look, I'm excited, man. Football moves quickly, eh? Less than 24 hours. Yesterday, we were talking about the build-up to the game. Carrick's third game as caretaker manager. Then we go and we beat Arsenal 3-2 and it's chaos. And then Michael Carrick resigns after the game. And then the next morning, we've got Ralf Rangnick and his first press conference as Manchester United manager. Things are moving thick and fast right now. And United, I hope it now, that's the majority of it done, right? That's the majority of it done. We should be able to settle a little bit now. We've got Crystal Palace in 3 days' time. I need to sit up a little bit. We've got Crystal Palace in 3 days' time. Let's see what goes on there. I'm not expecting too much of the Ralphie system to be in. I'll do my predicted 11 for the Chelsea game. Not Chelsea, sorry. For the Crystal Palace game. I'll get that out later on today. And then tomorrow I might do a separate video. I'm not sure. Any more videos you want me to do, you let me know in the comments. But let me go down here. Oh, that's a nice little comment. I don't know, it's caught my eye, so I'm going to read it out. This Ginger Pillock said United didn't press much last night. What game was he watching? Well, Richard, I was probably watching the same game as you. No, it was a little bit of pressing. In the same way that I said that United were aggressive against Chelsea, it was a little bit aggressive. There's not a cohesive press or cohesive aggression from Manchester United. There never has been. There never has been. We know that. And that's something that Rangnick will try and implement. And he's so clear in his philosophy. You know, that's the thing. It's the thing that I said from the very first video about him, how impressive and how consistent he is in his speech and his principles and the points he gets across. And remember, he's doing this in a foreign language. That always surprises me as well. They were pressing, says Tracy, but like a little bit pregnant. That's exactly what it was, Tracy. It was a little bit of pressing. It was a little bit of aggression from Manchester United. But Arsenal, yeah, that was quite poor for a lot of that first half, for sure. We came out second half different, though. Mohamed, how do you expect Ronaldo to perform under a Ralf system? I don't have any worries at all about Ronaldo in this system. And I've said this before. Ronaldo, A, is a fantastic player. B, is fit as hell. And C, is very smart. And so is Rangnick. They will come up with a solution. And as I said, it's about, I always compare it, and then I'll say it again. It's when Carrick played as a defensive midfielder. He wasn't like a Fred type of defensive midfielder where he's aggressive and running the feet of the player trying to win the possession there. He's blocking passing lanes. That's what Ronaldo will do. He'll press, but he'll block the space instead of blocking the player. That can be down to Fernandes. That can be down to Sancho. That can be down to Greenwood and Rashford and Martial, maybe. Probably not. But don't worry about Ronaldo, ladies and gents. He's not the problem. He's never been the problem. Tactically, he brings questions. Yes, but Ronaldo is not the problem. To just say that is absolutely mad. Let me go down here and see. Batman, you're saying Telles was great at left back last night. I thought Telles played quite well. I thought Dalot played better. I thought Diogo Dalot really sort of, I'm not sure whether he's played himself into the team against Crystal Palace, but he certainly gave himself an opportunity there. James, you're not wrong here. Our biggest problem is defense, big time. And that's something that we're all, let's be honest, that's why we're all frustrated at Harry Maguire. I said it in my match reaction. I said, look, Harry Maguire on the pitch is the captain, and he needs to make sure that defense is organised as hell. That ball went in behind to Telles. I was like, mate, another one of those. Ball in behind one of our fullbacks, cut back, goal. Seems like an easy thing to do against United. Given what you're saying here, honestly, I say we should not get too excited. You're trying to temper the excitement. The past few years of being a United supporter has humbled me, and I think everyone should be humble about the new appointment. Mate, the last 8 years has massively humbled me, first of all. Second of all, just made me angry. I didn't brag about it more when we were dominating. But look, I don't think anybody's getting overexcited. Apart from me, I'm definitely getting overexcited. But it's just, it's nice to actually really feel that our club is heading in the right direction. When for so long it's been like a tug of war. You've been above water, been below water. You're drowning, you're singing, you're all sorts of things from game to game, from week to week. It's been an up and down. It's like a heart. It's like a heart machine. That's what Manchester United has been. We just want a steady upward curve. So just a little bit of that. Just that's what we want to be, like on a ski lift, going in the right direction. But we haven't been doing that for a long time, and now it feels like we're on that ski lift. And we can see we're going towards that peak that we want to get to, and we've got a bit more trust and belief in what's powering this ski lift, in Ralf Rangnick now that he's coming in the fact that Woodward's leaving, in the fact that he's going to be moving into a consultancy role, in the fact that he will now have a bit of he's going to be steering the ship for the next few years, and who's to say that he won't appoint his successor, that we won't get like a little mini Ralf Rangnick to follow Ralf Rangnick in a couple of years' times. It's exciting, and that's why I think we are all truly exciting. Lisa, so I'll tell you, Sam, I can't wait for him to come in and stop all the fans moaning. Lisa, football fans will never stop moaning. That's one thing that all fans are good at, moaning. I'm one of them too. Ozzy, if Cavani was fit, who would you pick over him and Ronaldo? If you can only pick one, I'd pick Ronaldo, and I wouldn't even think about it. But Cavani is a fantastic player. I think he'll really enjoy working under Ralf Rangnick for, the last few months before he leaves. I think he might be going to Barcelona. That's what I saw yesterday. Only rumours at this stage, but I'll be honest, we're not looking at transfer news too often. I only cover the Amadou Haidara stuff because it really applied to Ralf Rangnick. It really applied to what he's doing. Let me see what else is. No, there's nothing else that Rangnick has been saying there. So what I will quickly do before I move on, ladies and gents, and don't say I don't treat you well, is I'll announce the winner of this week's Cristiano Ronaldo shirt. And this winner is coming from YouTube today. I'm only choosing one winner. I think I've chosen two winners the last few weeks. But trust me, as I said, it's the 3rd of December. We've got 22 days until Christmas. I've got some cracking giveaways on this channel. So you want to be involved. But the winner for this week is, I need to get a drum roll on my soundboard. What we got? The winner is, look at that. John Ewan. Where's a round of applause? Where's a round of applause? There. There we go. Big up to you, John. John, if you're watching, drop me a DM. The problem with winners on YouTube is I can't actually message you. I don't know why that is. You can on Facebook, you just can't here. So, John, please make sure you drop me a message. If you aren't here, I don't know whether you're here in the comments or not. I'll let you know across the week a couple of times. I can't give away a shirt to everybody, but that is it. But John, congratulations, my friend. You have won this week's shirt. And remember, it's Friday, ladies and gents, and I will get a couple of you onto the interactive map. So make sure you throw in where you're watching from, your town and the country, and I'll try and add you onto the map as we go on. But look, I'm excited about Ralf Rangnick. You're excited about Ralf Rangnick, and Rangnick is finally here. Something he did say in his press conferences, he's effectively only got one training session before Crystal Palace. The reason I'm saying that is because the players who were training today are going to be the players that weren't playing yesterday. So everyone who played yesterday will not be training because they're obviously going to be resting. That's what happens in football. So therefore, Saturday is the only training session we're going to have as a full squad under Rangnick. So today is going to be about him going into Carrington, meeting the players, shaking hands. We'll probably see pictures of him shoulder to shoulder with Ronaldo, with Bruno. That's exciting. That's exciting. But only one training session before Crystal Palace, so don't expect too much. Comment here from Jarvis. Maybe is it the real Jarvis Cock? I'm not sure. Might be. Sam, you're not doing Rangnick any favors while stirring up the fans. Let him prove himself before we go full out. Hallelujah. Yes and no. I'm not going to apologize for spreading positive propaganda in any way, shape, or form ever. And second of all, I think he deserves it. His reputation. The only reason I'm like this is because of the reputation that precedes him, because of the work that he has done himself over his career. So he deserves this sort of praise. He deserves this sort of adulation's the wrong word. There's a comment there that's just caught my eye, and I've absolutely got to explain this. Jay Razor, he's never won a major title at the wheel of any club. And I swear to God, if this is the mindset of United fans, you're on to a loser here. Success is not just about trophies. If it was, then Mourinho was the best manager that we've had post-Fergie. But do you really give a crap about the Europa League? No, you don't. Do you really give a crap about the League Cup? No, you don't. Are you going to go down the pub and brag about how United won the Europa League? You wouldn't even mention it. So don't come at me and say it's about trophy. Success is for Rangnick taking what is quite literally a village club in Hoffenheim, bringing them through the entire system and turning them into a Bundesliga team. Success is taking Leipzig from Bundesliga 2 and turning them into a Champions League team. This guy has had huge success at building clubs. And whether you want to admit it or not, Manchester United is a club that requires a builder. We've had everything. We've had absolutely everything. But Rangnick is someone who offers something different and offers something that comes into Manchester United at a time when we need somebody like him. That's why it's a good match. It's the synergy is there between Rangnick and Manchester United's needs, and we've got a hell of a squad there. So and that's what we don't know. How quickly can he build? That will depend, I think, on the coaching staff that he can bring in, on the response from the players, on how everybody buys into it. And we won't know that until we start playing football. In a month's time, we can probably review Rangnick's first month in charge and say, how successful has it been? How has he been able to implement his philosophy? And I'm sure that'll be an interesting video to do. But don't come here and say that he's not won titles and say that that's mate, it's so wrong. It's so utterly, utterly wrong. What, is he going to win the Bundesliga at Hoffenheim? No. You could argue that he maybe could have won it with Leipzig. Maybe, but he literally took them from Bundesliga 2. It's like, I don't know, QPR coming up next year, and then you expect them to win the Premier League straight away. No, it doesn't happen. They're different sort of successes, all right? Obviously, his ultimate success at Manchester United is going to be whether he can win the Premier League or the Champions League. But that's not going to happen this year. The Champions League could happen. As I've said before, come February, so it's December the 3rd now, right? Our first game in the Champions League round of 16 is going to be, I believe, about February the 16th or the 18th. That's 2.5 months that Rangnick has got to implement his style, implement his system. So that's going to be what our aim is getting towards. We've got the Premier League now. Beating Arsenal means we're not too far off. It's still going to be difficult for United. Let's see what goes on, right? But the Champions League in February, when Rangnick's had 2.5 months to implement his style, his philosophy, and this squad is playing different football, we're going to be a far, far, far better team going into that game than we were against Villarreal or Atalanta or Young Boys. That's going to be very exciting. And that's what we should be focusing on this season. If you want talking about silverware, it's the Champions League and whether we can do it in there. Let's go down here in the comments. Leipzig is the Bundesliga equivalent to Man City. I would say City have had far more money than Leipzig. Leipzig obviously have had a hell of a lot of money, and compared to is it Leipzig is the only club, one of the only clubs, or the only club that is not fan owned inside the Bundesliga. That's why that business model was jarred so much with the overall German fan base. Viable Solutions here saying Rangnick is praised by his peers. Klopp and Tuchel both said he's great managers. Obviously, the Razor saying that knows more. Yeah, he must know more than obviously Hasenhüttl as well. That's 3 managers inside the Premier League who have basically all been schooled, who have all gone to the school of Rangnick and been taught by him. But yeah, he's not a successful mate. He hasn't won the German Cup. He hasn't won Bundesliga. I don't know why I've done that accent, but yeah. It's a very odd thing to do, man. It's a very odd thing to shout at when I don't know. And you're saying, sorry, story just broke on The Athletic, saying Ralf stated he might advise United to make him permanent manager. Yeah, we spoke about that Ant, at the start. When it comes to that, and I think it's kind of fair enough. You can't rule out the idea of him as permanent manager right now. I don't think it will happen. I don't think it should happen. But at the same time, I don't think you can rule it out. Let me see if I can find out a full transcript of his press conference, see if it's out on Manchester United. No, it's not anywhere. Come on, people. Come on, people. Jeez. What are these people doing? Right, there's a couple of comments flying in here. Let me read some of these out. Abby, don't get how any coach can win trophies after being appointed in December. Is beyond me. Doesn't make any sense. The focus isn't on trophies right now. All right, the focus is not on trophies. The focus is on I've told you, Solskjaer was the man who pulled our club out of the mud. Rangnick is now the man that's going to build the house on top of that. And whoever he opens the door to and lets them in, they're the people that are going to come furnish the house with trophies. Whether that's Pochettino, whether that's Ten Hag, we are going to be in such a stronger position going into next season. We went into this season with this sort of expectation, but also a semi-fear. You know, we looked at this squad and we said, wow, this squad really should be capable of challenging for the Premier League. And then, well, look at what's happened now. Look at what's happened now. Let me go down here. Let's see if there's any more. There you go. Right. Key points from Ralf Rangnick's first press conference. Let me do a quick summary. For those of you who are only joining in here, welcome aboard. These are the key points from the BBC website. Coming to Old Trafford was an offer he couldn't turn down. Well, that's damn straight. He may recommend himself to continue beyond the end of the season. I personally think that, yeah, as I said, my gut is telling me that that won't happen, but my gut is also telling me, Sam, don't rule it out just yet. See how he gets on. I think he deserves that. The German tried to talk to caretaker manager Michael Carrick out of quitting the club, but he didn't. He spoke to former manager Solskjaer for 90 minutes at the weekend. As I said, real credit to Solskjaer there. Real credit. Rangnick is looking for his side to play with control and be proactive. Yes, please. He's happy to work with the current coaching staff, but will try to bring in another 2 or 3, and that's not easy. And he has never seen anybody as fit as Cristiano Ronaldo at his age. Mate, what is it with people and just doing things too fast? He's seen. No, get your English right. God damn it. BBC's even doing it wrong. Let me go down here. What I'll do now is I'll read a few of your comments out and I'll get a couple of you on the interactive map because it's Friday, baby. And it's Friday and it's Rangnick Day. So drop a like on the video and make sure you subscribe to United People's TV if you're new. I'd love to have you as part of the United People's TV community. Victor, yeah, he spoke to Ole. Ole spoke to him for a couple of hours and really sort of, it's a measure of the man of what Solskjaer is. As I said, it's like you getting sacked from work and then you having to give a 2-hour handover to the person who's replacing you. You'd be like, why am I going to do that? That's exactly what Solskjaer has done. And it's because he cares about the club more than he cares about, not more than he cares about himself, but he puts the club before that. That's what he always did. And being realistically, I would say maybe we have 6 players who would stand any chance of getting it into any other top clubs of the world. That still speaks volume. Mate, there's quite a lot of players inside this squad that would get into plenty of squads around the world. So I would slightly disagree with you, but I don't know that off the top of my head. Go get Rice. And I don't know. As I said, it's not really the time to talk about new signings. It's time to talk about getting more out of these current signings. But look, as I said, you've been firing it in the comments now. I'll head to the map in a set. I'll head to the map in 1 minute's time. So you let me know where you're watching from in the comments. You drop your country you're watching from and the town you're watching from, and I'll get you added onto the map. Adrian saying Tuchel won a trophy after coming in mid-season, and it was a big one. Of course, he came into a team that was very, very an excellent squad under Lampard, and he implemented his style straight away, and it worked straight away. Can Rangnick have that sort of success? I suppose we'll find out. But the fact that he's got 2.5 months between now and that round of 16 game should give us more hope that he can go and do something in the Champions League. And I'll tell you what, let's not rule it out, man. Let's not rule it out. Let's see where you're all watching from in the comments. The one that caught my eye there is Jemmy, watching from, wow, Riihimäki. Riihimäki? In Finland. I'm going to call that. I wonder if I'm another lie. Riihimäki. Wow. Now that is a cool place. I've always wanted to go to Scandinavia. Just haven't done it yet. I will at some point. We got Bashir watching from Auckland in New Zealand. Good morning to you. Actually, is it definitely not good morning for you, is it? I'm not sure. Auckland might already be on the map. I'm not sure. But I tell you what, Auckland's going on again. Again, New Zealand. Man, I love traveling. I need to go back traveling. Seriously. No, I can't do these every day. And there's one more there that caught my eye. Meisley, you're watching from Vancouver in Canada. Fun fact, I had a fantastic trip booked there 3 months that got cancelled because of COVID. Thank you very much, COVID. But Vancouver Islands, you're on the map as well. Brilliant. Thank you very much, everyone joining in. There's lots more of you watching from all around the world. Oh, I'm getting you on because I don't think we've got many from Sao Paulo in Brazil. Wow. Wicked. Sao Paulo indeed. On you go. Honestly, this makes me smile so much. Look at this map. Look at this map. All the way down here from bottom of New Zealand to the tops of New Zealand to Fiji to the Philippines to South Africa to Algeria to look, we've got someone in Brazil and Peru and Venezuela, in Guatemala, all around the world. Reds are watching United People's TV, and that just puts a big smile on my face. I think it's wicked. I really do. And that's what United is, eh? United are a club around the world. But look, Ralf Rangnick, baby. He's in the club. He's on top of the tree. Can Saint Rangnick help? Of course, he can help Manchester United. I'm not expecting miracles straight away. No one's expecting miracles straight away. But now we can actually fully expect United to be headed in the right direction as a football club with a person at the wheel who's been at the wheel before. He's steered a couple of cars and he's retired them. He's put them into the garage. He's put Hoffenheim there. He's put Leipzig there. And now he's coming to Manchester United. He's going to try and repair that car. He's going to replace the engine. or maybe replace the wheel, maybe just change the tracking on it. That's what it is. And that's why I'm excited to see what he comes in and does. Matt, how you doing, buddy? Tried to talk to you last night on the stream, but you were in the car and the internet wasn't working. Stop worrying about the trophies, you say. We need to focus on the team performances with Rangnick. Mate, you're not wrong there at all. And that's why, of course, I want the trophies, man. Of course I do. But I just also have the, it's about taking a step back and seeing where you're at and where you're getting towards. The Champions League, I'm not going to rule United out winning that trophy this year. I'm excited about that. Couple of months' time, we should have Rangnick ball in full swing. I'm excited to see what happens there. And Ronaldo will be bang up for it. So expect, for example, Rangnick to rest Ronaldo in games before big Champions League games. And that's something he should do. Paul, I like that. An angel leading the Red Devils. Ralf Angel up there. Ruffy. Leading the Red Devils. It's exciting. Look, thank you all very much for joining in this morning. It's a nice busy stream because everyone is excited about Rangnick. I'm excited. Going to get my predicted starting 11 for the Crystal Palace game out later today. It's going to be a big one. Make sure you watch that. But look, thank you all very much for joining in. One more time, John, in case you're watching, congratulations to you, sir, for winning the CR7 shirt this week. As is always the case here on United People's TV, I'll do one more plug. I give one of these away every single week. The new home kit. There you go. With CR7 on the back. Every single week here on United People's TV, I give one of these out. Maybe two. It's going to be a busy month of giveaway. So please consider joining. It's your way of supporting the channel, and it's my way of giving back to you as well, because there's more things that I introduce in for the members only. But look, I'll speak to you later on today, not on a live video though, with my predicted 11 for Crystal Palace, and I also might do a video tomorrow, not sure. But I enjoyed that this morning. You enjoy yourself, but let's get it up. The Ralphie music is here. Ralph's had his first press conference. Can Ralf Angel up there help United turn our season around? We started to do it against Arsenal there with an important 3 points. Let's see what comes next. Hopefully, another 3 points on Sunday against Crystal Palace in Ralph's first game in charge. And that's going to be exciting. But everybody, have a cracking Friday, and I'll speak to you soon. Thanks for joining in.